Have you ever made a decision and felt it was wrong before you even finished making it? Not a thought, not a reason, just something in your chest, something quiet, something that knew. And then you smiled, nodded, and ignored it completely. This is Sara. She was the kind of person who kept a spare umbrella in her car and remembered everyone's birthdays. Practical, careful. Quietly proud of the fact that she never made big mistakes. She had a job she didn't love but didn't hate. A small flat with a window she liked to sit by on Sunday mornings with her coffee. A life that, from the outside, looked completely fine. The problem wasn't her life. The problem was that Sara had spent so many years being sensible that she stopped being honest with herself. When the job offer came, it looked perfect on paper. Better title, better money. The kind of opportunity her parents would frame on a wall if they could. She opened the email on a Tuesday afternoon, read it twice, felt nothing good. Her stomach went still in that specific way it does when something's not right. Not fear, exactly. Something quieter. Something that just said, no. She texted her friend anyway. Her friend called back in 30 seconds. Are you insane? Say yes. Say yes right now. So Sara told herself the feeling was just nerves. Told herself she was being too cautious again. Two, in her head. To Sara, she said yes. Her gut feeling came true within a week. Her new boss communicated entirely through one-line emails. No greeting, no punctuation, just instructions, firing off like small, cold bullets. The team ate lunch at their desks, not because they were busy, because nobody talked to each other. Sara told herself, give it time. Every new job feels strange at first, so she worked harder, smiled wider, stayed later. But every Sunday evening, something happened to her body. A weight would settle into her shoulders around 6 p.m. That didn't lift until Friday. She stopped sleeping past 4 a.m. She'd lie there in the dark, not thinking about anything specific. Just awake, just heavy. The spark, that quiet, warm feeling of being yourself, went somewhere she couldn't find it. 5 months in, she was sitting in her car in the office car park. Not going in, not going home, just sitting. She'd been there for 20 minutes, radio off. Just the sound of her own breathing. And she thought, I knew. I knew before I even replied to that email. I knew, and I said yes anyway. She didn't cry. She was too tired for that. She just sat there with that thought until it settled into something real. I knew. Why? And I chose not to listen. Why? That evening, she found an old journal from 3 years ago. She wasn't looking for it. 'Twas in a box she'd been meaning to unpack since she moved in. She pulled it out without thinking, flipped it open to a random page, and there it was. Her own handwriting. From a different job, a different year. Something feels off about this place, but I can't explain it. Everyone says I should be grateful. Maybe I'm just being difficult. She stared at that sentence for a long time. She'd written it before. She'd felt it before, okay? And she'd ignored it before. And paid for it. This wasn't a new feeling. This was a pattern. Here's what nobody tells you about that feeling in your chest. It's not anxiety. It's not weakness. It's not you being too sensitive or too scared or too much. It's information your body processes the world faster than your conscious mind does. It picks up on tone, on energy, on tiny inconsistencies before you have words for any of it. Scientists call it interoception, the ability to sense what's happening inside your own body. And research shows that people who trust those signals make better decisions, not worse ones. That tight chest, that still stomach, that quiet node that arrives before any logic does. That's not fear talking. That's you already knowing. The only question is whether you'll listen. Sara started small. She didn't hand in her notice that night. Real change doesn't work like that. She just started paying attention when her boss sent one of those cold, punctuation-free emails, and her stomach dropped. She noticed it. She wrote it down. She stopped pretending it meant nothing. She said no to one small thing. A project that felt wrong. She said she had too much on. Her hands shook slightly when she sent that message. Nothing bad happened, so she said no to another thing. A meeting she didn't need to be in. A request that crossed a line she'd been quietly letting people cross for years. And slowly, not dramatically, not overnight, something shifted. She started to recognize the feeling before it disappeared. She got quicker at catching it. That split second before the noise rushes in and everyone else's opinions fill the room. That one clear signal. She started calling it her compass. Not because someone told her to, because that's what it felt like. Something that always knew which way was north. Something that didn't change depending on who was watching. 8 months after she started that job, she left it. Her hands shook when she wrote the resignation email. She sat with her finger over the send button for a long time. She pressed it. And her chest opened up in a way she hadn't felt in almost a year. What came after wasn't easy. She wants you to know that. There were weeks where money was tight, and she questioned everything. Where she lay awake thinking, what if I was wrong? What if I threw away something good because of a feeling? But she kept coming back to the journal entry. Her own handwriting, her own pattern. The proof that the feeling had never actually been wrong. She'd just been too afraid to trust it. She kept checking in with herself. Not obsessively, just honestly. One question before every decision. How does this actually feel? Not how does it look? Not what will people think? How does it feel in my chest, right now, in this moment? 3 months later, she had a call with a small company she'd almost forgotten she'd reached out to. The conversation was easy, not performed. Easy. When she hung up, she noticed her shoulders weren't tight. Her stomach wasn't still. She felt calm. Settled like something clicking quietly into place. She took the job. 2 years later, she still works there. Tonight, before you sleep, try this. Think of a decision you're sitting with right now. Something you haven't resolved yet. Close your eyes. Take one slow breath. Picture yourself saying yes. Just hold that image for a moment. Now, notice, does your chest expand or contract? Does your stomach settle or go still in that way that means something's wrong? Don't analyze it. Don't explain it away. Just feel it. That sensation, whatever it is data. Real data, coming from the part of you that was paying attention before you were. You don't need more information. You need to get quiet enough to feel what you already know. The feeling was never broken. You just got very good at talking yourself out of it. It's still there. It's always been there. And it's been right more times than you've given it credit for. If this story felt familiar, share it with someone who needs permission to trust themselves today. And if you want more stories like this, I'll see you in the next one.